Hi guys.
Nakamute pa siya. Okay.
Hello, Gramo. Okay lang. Okay. So, today I'll be reading sa Acts 7, 54 to 60. I know you're familiar with this story. So, Acts 7, 54 to 60. So, this is about the stoning of Stephen. So, 54. Now, when they heard these things, they were enraged, and they ground their teeth at him. And he, full of spirit, gazed into the heaven and saw the glory of God and Jesus standing at the right hand of God. And he said, Behold, I see the heavens opened and the Son of Man standing at the right hand of God. But they cried out with a loud voice and stopped their ears and rushed together at him. Then they cast him out of the city and stoned him, and the witnesses laid down their garments at the feet of a young man named Saul. As they were stoning Stephen, he called out, Jesus, Lord Jesus, receive my spirit. And falling to his knees, he cried out with a loud voice, Lord, do not hold this sin against them. And when he had said this, he fell asleep. So this is a very short story about Stephen, and we know a little about Stephen. So when the early church expanded, so they're looking for qualified men. So one of them is Stephen. So si Stephen ang napili. And then fast forward, Stephen is preaching sa synagogue, and then this priest is nakuan, accusing him of blasphemy. So gidala si Stephen sa court, and then he was given this platform to defend himself. And then he speaks the truth, and all the more it offends them. And then at the end of his argument, dito na clear, lay down niya nga, it is not me who blaspheme against God, but it's you. You are the blasphemers. So, suko sila. So, all the more na suko sila. So, it koan, it, it came to this point, the stoning of Stephen. So, we are now in the middle of a crisis, and it's affecting our mind, it's affecting our heart, and even our body. So, our mind wanders all the more. Brag ganahan ta mo go sa what if na mahitabo. And then we want to do things, but we are restricted to do something. So all the more we get frustrated because wala tayong mabuhat. We're like, just like a bird inside the cage, waiting for someone to free us out. And it's all the more frustrating because we can saw the outside, but we cannot go outside. So here's now Stephen, and he's in somehow in same situation like us, but in sa iyang situation it's like life and death. So here's now in verse 54. Now when they heard these things, they were enraged, and they ground their teeth at him. So notice the reaction of the listener. And have you been in a situation ba tao nga you're really frustrated, you're really angry, and the only thing and the only outlet na mabuhat nimo is manghagis ka og butang. Because no words can explain sa imuhang anger deep inside. So this is what the audience hear after they hear the truth, after na-connect nila tanan, and then Stephen is presenting Jesus as the Messiah, and then he killed Jesus, and then he connects everything, and then these Jews know all these things and understand all these things, and then all the more nagpatol ilang emotion. So they are there, willing to kill Stephen. But there's a response in 55. Verse 55, notice Stephen here. But he, full of spirit. Holy Spirit gazed into the heaven and saw the glory of God and Jesus standing there. The outside circumstances is full of hatred, and within the heart of Stephen is full of the Spirit. Is controlled. Is not more concerned about the outside, more concerned on the inside of those people, their spiritual status. So as we go on with our daily lives, mga kuan ano, amang, it's the same as that we are really put in a position to be tempted bitaw sa outside natin circumstances and what will happen to me, and we base upon that. But as we move sa verse further, notice the Stephen. He gazed into heaven for the glory of God. He's not concerned about, his major concern is not about his outside circumstances, but he primarily looked up. And it is also a timely reminder for us. We are tempted to look down in certain situation. Lord, wala na for work, and I really wanted to get a job, but the job is always pending. So we are tempted to lay down our cards to those things. But here, Stefan knows nasa siya mo primarily put the focus, gaze into the heavens. He knows where his help comes from. He knows where his strength come from. And in the middle of the crisis, you remember what did Paul says that when where we are weak, mm, and Christ is there to supply us strength. And crisis is a reminder of our how limited we are as human. And the end of ourself is where we lift everything into God. And this is the sometimes we cannot appreciate crisis bitaw okay, because it's really depressing. It's really kanang troubling sa tong heart and at our mind. But crisis has this beautiful gift of reminding us that we are limited and we are in need of someone who is bigger than this problem. And this is what Stephen did. He looked unto God. He knows that this situation is a matter of life and death. And whatever happens to him, knows kabalo siya asa siya modagan. So he gazed up and then notice what happens next. And so the glory of God and Jesus at the right hand of God. He is verifying what Jesus said in the previous verse in Mark that we saw the glory of God and standing in the right hand of God. And then here is Stephen verifying the truth and all the more ng suko ang mga priests. So in verse 57, they cried out, grabe na kayo ilang anger, with a loud voice and stopped their ears and rushed together at him. Notice that kind of anger, that kind of hatred against Stephen. They're really willing to kill. And Stephen, in verse 58, then they cast him out of the city and stoned him. And the witness laid down their garments at the feet of a young man named Saul. And as they were stoning Stephen, notice again the response of Stephen. He called out, Lord Jesus, receive my spirit. And he knows, asa siya padong. And notice this, in the previous verse, I forgot to mention, in 55, that he's full of spirit. The moment you became Christian, it's the moment you become full. You remember in our James series, in chapter 1, that when God gives, there's no variation, there's no like shadows, na mag-vary-vary. When God gives, He gives. It's full. And here, Stephen is full of spirit. And we, as a Christian, we're full of spirit the moment God opened our hearts to the end. Stephen is not complete. Stephen is not brag na check na ng checklist the moment nga padung na siya mamatay, but he's already complete from the start and to the end. He knows asa siya padung. So he is calling out, Lord Jesus, receive my spirit. And in verse 60, another respond of Stephen, Falling on his knees, he cried out with a loud voice, Lord, do not hold this against them. That's something. You're in the middle of a crisis. It's a matter of life and death, and this is real death. That's waiting sa kay Stephen. He's stoned, and people were enraged. They were filled with hatred. They wanted to kill Stephen. And for them, the definition of killing Stephen is the victory. But for Stephen, the death is just the start of life. And here, the response of Stephen is, Lord, do not hold this against them. Still showing love towards these people. And this is not something that we can generate from ourselves. And you are in the position like Stephen, you're about to die, maybe in our kanang flesh nga way, we wanted to mubalos nila. But here, Stephen is because he's full of the Spirit, he's led by the Spirit, and his respond is within the Spirit. So it is love towards them, it is forgiveness towards them, it is grace towards them. And notice that prayer, he cried out loud. And there's one audience as well that we know from that crowd naka-benefit ani nga prayer. And that is Paul. On here's for seeing them, and when he had said this, he fell asleep. So when he said this thing, Christ, and that is a beautiful picture of a Christian na nag-face na siya of death. So here, what do we learn from here? We're in the middle of crisis. And first is, what will be our response when we face this reality? There's a scary reality that's still ahead of us. What will be our response? Do we look into those unknown, or we look to a known God who knows those unknown? Or do we rest up to ourselves, or do we rest primarily to the hands of God? And that is really a good reminder for us. And also, crisis is something that would reveal who we are. If we are a true believer or just a believer, because crisis will reveal kung sa imong good treasure within your heart. If if Stephen treasure all the more his position because people look at him because he's a good preacher, then he'll defend that position all the more. His response is different, fleshly respond, but here he knows how to respond based on how he saw Christ. And if you summary all his response, it's a picture of who Christ is. More Christ-like. You can't imagine someone willing to die for his enemies, and that's Christ. And we saw that in the life of Stephen. He's full of spirit. That's Christ, and we saw that in the life of Stephen, full of grace. And also he's a bold preacher. He's given this platform to preach. So don't water down the message. Speak the truth as raw as it is. And the truth offends these people. And then he's lovingly forgiving. And that's a mark of a follower of Christ. And that's an encouraging thing to look into sa life with me, Stephen. So, opo na siya ako ang gusto nga ano po, i-remind we are in this troubling situation. We might experience in the moment nga nakabalo ko sa akong status sa job, mga 2 nights naglisod ko og sleep, but I wanted to remind myself with the word nga it is not me, it is the author of my life, but it is God. Having him is having everything. And just like what Stephen continued to declare that he is full of spirit. He is already complete from the start. And then from to the end, God is continually sustaining him and strengthening him. And all the more the people na nagtanaw niya saw Christ more than Stephen. So, walang paano. reminder for us in this time of crisis. Don't be tempted to look on yourself, to look on the situation. Primarily look at the Christ and through Christ. Especially to those people who are really burn sila og mentally breakdown because everything is so fake, everything the security is taken, the identity is taken. Tayo. And we will be facing that kind of reality later on. People who are really shaken before, and it's only the message of Christ and the beauty of the word that would complete them, heal them. So, kaya lang ako for us today. I hope you learned something.